What was the first time that you had any inkling that this little boy, Jazz, was different?
The day she came up to me, and I'll never forget it, Barbara, she said, "Mommy, when's the good fairy going to come with her magic wand and change, my genitalia?"
How old was Jazz then?
2.
At 2, Jazz came to you and said, when is a good fairy going to, I guess, take off my penis? Is
Right,
what she was
and
telling
make it into a vagina.
Okay, so that was the parents of Jazz Jennings. If you don't know who Jazz Jennings is, he was a star of a reality show that came out, I think, in around 2015 called I Am Jazz. It was about a boy who was going to transition to a girl. One of the first people that I can remember before this thing took off into a full-blown alphabet country. Jazz Jennings still has that show today, but she's having problems because he is starting to realize the mistakes that were made when he was growing up. And in my opinion, it's all the parents' fault, because you heard the mother say, after Barbara Walters asked her when they knew that the child thought that they were another gender, and she said, when she asked me when the fairy godmother was going to come, or the good fairy was going to come and change my genitalia. And Jazz was 2 years old when he said that. Give me a break. At 2 years old, a child can just about speak. Never mind, tell their mother they want to change their gender and sex identity. So the parents took advantage of this. They came up with a plan. And as far as I'm concerned, they went to networks, and TLC jumped on board and started a reality show that, again, is still going today. And I can't even imagine how much money these people made off of their child, off of what they forced their child to do. A clip is going viral that Jazz is basically having a breakdown talking to the mother, and I just want to show it to you. The quality of it's not too good, but have a look at this.
So, are you feeling like you wanted to start talking about... Are you okay?
I'm okay.
I'm going to cry.
You know I can't get out of my head.
I know. No, listen.
It just doesn't stop.
It's okay. Give me a hug. It's okay. I know what you're going through. We've been there before.
No, it still doesn't stop now. And I'm already going back to negative.
But the more you're talking about yourself, it gets harder. You're digging in, and it's making you put a magnifying glass on what's already difficult as it is. So this is hard for you. I know. And we don't want to push you
I
anymore.
know I'm the one doing it.
I know. You're your own worst enemy.
I feel kind of all over the place, and my mind is very cluttered and not clear. And I really want to have that clarity. I really want to understand myself and be able to read my own soul and what I want. And it's just very challenging. And I think I'm kind of breaking down a little bit and spiraling into negativity. I just want to feel like myself. That's it. I don't care. All I want is to be happy and feel like me, and I don't feel like me ever.
Now, to me, that's a sad video clip, because it looks as though Jazz is starting to realize the mistakes that were made as he was growing up, the mistakes caused by his parents doing this to him, hormones, surgeries. And throughout his life, he struggled with this, binge eating, gaining weight, not knowing who she really is. But the parents were still on board with it, still pushing it forward. You heard the mother say, I know what you're going through. No, you don't know what he's going through, because you are a biological female and he is not. And you forced this child to do this because of some fucked up idea you had in your head that you were going to make money off of your child. And that's exactly what they did. And the medical community, most today, go along with it. They approve of the hormones. They approve of the surgeries. They think anybody that's against transitioning kids under the age of 18 is wrong, that the kids know that they really, really know that they're someone else, and the parents are just trying to help them through it, which is a bunch of nonsense. And I got another clip of a group of, I guess they're medical professionals from Duke University, and one of them explains to the other group how these people who have these transitions and have these surgeries, as they grow older in their new gender, they never ever experience sexual pleasure and never will because of the hormones and the surgery.
The second was an observation that I had, that every single child or adolescent who was truly blocked at Tanner stage 2 has never experienced orgasm. I mean, it's really about zero. These are just assigned male at birth, so trans feminine, and it's because they never in their lives are exposed to testosterone. That doesn't change. So blockers prevent the rise of testosterone, and they don't really go on testosterone at or around surgery or into adulthood. And so we don't know. They're going to have this sensation. There's no question about that. But are they going to be able to achieve sexual satisfaction?
So that is another part of the myth that they push down young people's throats, that once they're a boy and they turn into a girl, they'll be able to have the same pleasures and sensations as they would if they were the opposite sex. And that person is there to tell you that it is not true. It may happen, but chances are it won't. And we've all seen other clips about this transition bullshit, that these boys, as they get older and they're force-fed the hormones and given the surgeries and have all the alphabet people propaganda shoved down their throat, they actually think because they turned into a girl that they could have a child. Now that right there is one of the biggest lies you could ever tell a biological male, because it's not biologically possible. But these people continue to harm children. And I know I continue to talk about it, but the more I see of this, the worse it gets, because people are being hurt. Children's lives are being destroyed. And there's one other clip I want to show you that basically what this guy is doing, he's jumping on the bandwagon of Jazz Jennings' parents. Now, he'll say that it's not true and people don't know what they're talking about, and he knows that his little boy is a girl, but it's all about, they need something. They're unhappy in their life, as far as I'm concerned. They need something, so they're going to sacrifice their child's health and well-being to put money in their pocket.
You talk to any adult trans people, they will tell you that since the day they were born. You ask anyone who's gay will say, I've always been gay. Oh, that's nice. People always say that she looks like me, and then she gets annoyed.
With Edie, was that something you chose?
Mummy said it because she didn't want me to change my name so much.
I am partly male and partly female, but also I'm neither male nor female.
People will say like, oh, you're forcing it on her, or she's too young to know what's going on. I'm like, but that's your lack of, kind of exposure to that environment. You don't have a trans child. You are not a trans person. So you're just kind of like bandwagoning on what people are saying. If we sent you somewhere to convince you are a boy, or told you had to change back to a boy, how would that make you feel?
You'd never do that.
I know I would never do that. But how would you feel if there is some people that actually do want to do that to people?
It makes us sad.
How would that make you feel?
It makes I would be sad, but I would also keep trying to convince you that I wasn't a boy.
When she was telling me how she used to have sleepless nights because she saw a video about puberty and thought like, am I going to grow facial hair? Am I going to I'm going to have babies, right? When I grow up, I'm going to be a mommy, right? I don't know how to answer that question because it's really sad. And to see a child just be questioning it all and be like, I'm in the wrong body. Can I change, please?
And that right there is an example of complete brainwashing. That guy is brainwashing his little boy into believing that he is a girl. It's nothing more than that. And he'll say people that don't believe it think that he's bandwagoning or we're bandwagoning with people who are against it. But what he is doing, he's jumping on that bandwagon of the alphabet people because he's got nothing else going on. He's got children, and he's chosen to ruin that little boy's life by turning him into a girl. And you heard him say, she had sleepless nights thinking, am I going to grow facial hair? I'm going to have babies when I grow up, right, Daddy? Are you friggin' kidding me right now? And he's going to tell that little boy, of course you're going to have babies one day because you're a girl. And what's going to happen when Eduardo, she, her, trans pronouns, realizes that it's all bullshit, it's all propaganda, it's all nonsense that was shoved down his throat by his parent, who I think should be criminally charged with severe child abuse, but that's just my opinion. What's going to happen to that little boy? And again, I've said this so many times. They say the suicide rate amongst transgender people is very high. That parent and Jazz Jennings' parent are part of the reason, because they're leading these young people to believe that they can be something they're not. They can give them all the surgeries they want, breast implants, they can have their penis cut off and make themselves a nice vagina in an operating room. They will never, ever in their lifetime give birth to another human being. It's scientifically and biologically impossible. And that guy, you heard him. The little boy said, I'm going to have babies someday, right, Daddy? And of course you are. I don't understand how this is not criminal. I don't understand why people are against someone like Ron DeSantis, who wants to ban this in Florida. They want to stop these people from destroying young lives. What is it going to take for people to wake up and cut out this bullshit? What is wrong with waiting till these people are 18 years old and let them make their own decisions? What is wrong with it? I understand the woke TV networks are thinking, we're going to make a fortune off these people. We're going to pay them a fat amount, but we're going to make more. We're going to jump on board. We're going to give them TV shows, and we're all going to get rich off it. Off of what? Off of destroying children. That's all this is. That's all it will ever be. And politicians need to stop their bullshit and wake up and pass laws banning anything that has to do with hormone therapy or transgender surgeries until a boy or girl is 18 years old. They will never be the opposite sex or gender. Never. It's not possible. If they want to walk around in opposite sex clothes, knock yourself out. This has to somehow be made a criminal offense to hold these parents accountable for destroying their children's lives. I talk about it a lot, but I'm going to keep talking about it because it's so out in the forefront right now. And the more I see it and hear like guys like that telling us that that little boy had nightmares about growing facial hair and not having babies is absolutely absurd. And Jazz Jennings' mother said at 2 years old, Jazz wanted to know when the fairy was coming to change his genitalia. It's absolute trash. It's bullshit. But the networks jumped on board, and all these people are going to make money. And who suffers in the end? These kids suffer because you can see Jazz Jennings is suffering today because of the mistakes that were forced on her by the parents. The parents need to be held accountable for the destruction that they are doing to their children's lives. And any transgender person that commits suicide, it's because of their parents force feeding this down their throats. It's not because people are transphobic, because most of us could give a shit. they need to wait until they're at least 18 years old when you're considered a legal adult. Stop the nonsense and save these kids' lives because their parents don't care about their well-being. And that's it. And if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell. Share this video with someone. I'd appreciate that. Hope everybody's healthy and safe. And I'll see you real soon. Have a great night.